Hi everybody, welcome to Math on Digital Learning Day 4. I hope you guys are all having a really great day today. So math is going to be the same today as it's been all week. I will be going through the slides for you, so you need to have your slides open so you can look at them as you watch the video or pause going back and forth, whatever's been working really well for you. And we're going to start today with another estimation 180. So go ahead and pause the video while you make your estimates that are way too low, way too high, and then estimates you think might be correct. So go ahead and do estimation 180 and then come right back. Okay, so today we're going to be going through slides on your slide presentation for day 4. You will find them in the cross math section under content. And today we're going to be talking about time. I'm starting on the first mini lesson slide right after the estimation 180 slide. You guys have been learning about time since first grade. You've been learning about time to the half hour, time to the quarter hour. Last year in third grade we learned time to the minute and elapsed time, how to solve problems that have to do with how much time has passed in between two things happening. Now, I have a very important public service announcement. You see on your slide, tardy cat. And tardy is another word for late. And if you can't tell time, you're going to be late. So, poor tardy cat can't tell time. And this is your public service announcement. Don't be like tardy cat. If you cannot tell time on an analog clock, which is the kind of clock that you see on your slide right now, you have to learn to tell time. You need to practice. You need to not look at digital clocks, not look at the phone, not look at the computer. You need to really practice. This is very important that you guys know that. And if you don't know how to tell time, you need to spend some time practicing while you're home, stuck home during digital learning. This would be a perfect time to practice that. Okay, so just like we've been talking about length and mass and capacity, we have units that we use when we tell time. The good thing is we only have one system now. We don't have to worry about two systems of measurement, which we've been doing for all of our other things we've been measuring. Time is measured in units that you guys are all familiar with. Seconds are the little tiny quick amounts of time. Minutes are a little bit longer. And then hours and even days. You do need to know how many seconds are in a minute, which is 60. You need to know how many minutes are in an hour, which is 60. And you need to know how many hours are in a day, which is 24. So again, if you don't know those things in your head from memory, you need to practice so that you can remember them. Okay, so I don't think we need a lot of time learning about time. We know about it. I have made a chart for you guys, and I'm actually going to work on this with you today. So on the wall behind me in just a second, you're going to see the same chart that you see on your slides. Not like yesterday where I did a different one. You're going to see it with me, and we're going to work through it together because some of this multiplication, it's a lot of digits times a lot of digits, and we haven't done that in a long time. So I wanted to model it for you to be sure you remember how to do it. Okay, so here we go. Oops. The paper is too sticky. Okay, here we go, guys. Everybody see that? Okay, sorry if it's a little hard to see with the glare, but I think you guys can see it on your screen if you don't see it on my chart. So I copied the chart from the slide, and at the top I labeled seconds, minutes, and hours. So we're going to think about a certain amount of time, and we're going to figure out what that time is in seconds, in minutes, and in hours. And I started with 60 seconds. So I have two unknowns here. I have how many minutes that is and how many hours that is. Hopefully we all know that 60 seconds is 1 minute. All right? Now, when we think about how many hours this is, it kind of reminds me of last week when we measured angles and we talked about going all the way around the circle in 1 degree turns, these little tiny turns, and we'd have to do that 360 degrees. If we think about an hour, I started thinking, how many minutes are there to go all the way around? And hopefully you remember that there are 60 minutes in an hour. So if we have one of those minutes, our fraction, our answer is going to be a fraction, we would actually have 1/60th of an hour. Okay? So on this one, I gave you the amount of minutes. We have to figure out how many seconds and how many hours. So 45 minutes. 45 minutes. So we have had 60 seconds 45 times. 45 1 minute. So we need to multiply 45 times 60. And that's one of those big multiplications we haven't done in a really long time. So I want to take you way back to the beginning of 4th grade where we did this. The box method. Do you remember this? So we decompose our number into tens and ones, and we're going to multiply this way. So 60 times 40. But those two zeros make this actually pretty easy. I'm just going to go ahead and write them here in my number. And then I'm just going to multiply the 6 times the 4, which is 24. Okay, and again I can just put my 0 here and multiply 5 times 6, which is 30. Now, do you remember what we do with those two numbers? We add them up. So 2,400 or 2,400 plus 300 equals 2,700 seconds. That's a whole lot of seconds. It also lets us see how much smaller seconds are than minutes, okay? Now, an hour. This one's a little trickier. But what I want you to think about is quarters. Just like we do with money or circles, hours have quarters too. And if you think about the clock, if you put like a T in the middle like we did with our angles, our circle last week, you're going to divide that into quarters. And if you think about how much time passes, here I can draw it for you. If we divide our clock into quarters, we know that the whole thing is 60. So half of it would be 30, and half of that would be 15. So each of these quarter hours is 15 minutes. So if we have 45, that would be 15 plus 15, which is 30, plus another 15, which is 45. So that would be this much of an hour. And if we think of that as a fraction, it's 3/4 of an hour. Okay? I'm actually going to let you do these two on your own. I want you to try them. And if you want to type your answers onto your Google Doc with your word problems that I'm going to show you in a minute, you can do that. I want to see, I think you guys can do those by yourselves. Just remember, if you're going from seconds to minutes, you're going to divide. And if you're going from minutes to seconds, you're going to multiply. So this one I'm going to look at with you because it's a little tricky. Or is it? You know what? I think you guys can do that one on your own too. You might need to think of this circle again and think that you're starting with half an hour. So I'm going to draw this again. I think you guys can do this. You don't need me to model that for you. I'm going to give you that hint to start with, and I want you to solve backwards. Okay? All right, now I want you to click to the next slide, or you can pause the video and solve the chart and then come back. The next problem has to do with elapsed time, and I'm going to model this for you, and then you're going to practice some elapsed time word problems on a sheet that's called elapsed time word problems, and it is on the cross math content section right where your slides are. So Ashton's dad works from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It takes him 30 minutes to drive to work in the morning and 45 minutes to drive home in the evening. How long is Ashton's dad gone from home each day? So think back to our cube strategy. What do we need to do to this problem? And I know you can't really highlight on your computer, but you could maybe, if you have this printed out or if you want to write it out, you could think about the things we need to circle and underline. And I think the times that he leaves, the time he goes to work, or sorry, his starting time of work and his ending time are very important. But there's also some other important times. It's more than one step. So I'm going to show you how you would do this. Let me move my other poster over. Okay, so when we do elapsed time, it works really well to put it on a number line. And this might be a little bit hard for you to see. Hopefully you can see it. But I went ahead and put his work times on the number line. So 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I counted these out. These are hours. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. No, that's not how you count time. Silly Miss Cross. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? But there's some other information in the problem that is really important. It tells us that it takes him 30 minutes to drive to work. So would that go here or here? If he's driving to work, it would go over here. So I'm going to add another mark here, but that's not an hour, that's 30 minutes. Because that's how long it takes him to drive to work. I know this is hard to see. When I'm finished, I'll zoom in on it for a minute so you can see it. After work, it takes him 45 minutes to drive home. So I'm going to do a little hop here for 45 minutes. Okay? Now, you really know the time he left and the time he got home. Not just the time he was at work, because the question said, how long is he gone from home? So now all I need to do is add these times up. I'm going to get another color. First, I'm going to count the hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 hours. But then don't forget I have 30 minutes here and 45 minutes here. So I'm going to add those up. Let's do that over here. 30 minutes plus 45 minutes equals 75 minutes. And if I think of this kind of like an improper fraction, I want to take out the hour so I can add it to my hours, and then I'll just have minutes left over, because 75 minutes is longer than an hour. So if you remember that an hour is 60 minutes, I'm going to subtract 60, and I'm going to put that over here. I'm going to add that up. So I have 9 hours and 15 minutes. Okay? So let me zoom in for just a second to let you guys see that a little bit better, so you can at least pause on it if you want to. Okay? Alright, so that's it for our lesson today. You can flip through your summary. I'm trying to put a couple extra memes in there because I know you like them and I really miss seeing them with you, and I hope you enjoy them. I'm trying to give you something to smile about because I know digital learning can be kind of tough sometimes. I miss you guys a lot. Please dojo me or Miss Bell questions if you're in Miss Bell's class. If you have any questions about the lesson, and we are here to help you. Good luck, guys. We are so proud of you. We'll see you soon. Bye.